Hello, this is Dr. Katie from Craig Chiropractic and Kinesiology, and today I want to talk about elimination diets. Have you heard of them? Do you know what they are? They kind of come and go as fads, especially online in the health communities, and I want to talk about those. So I want to talk about, are they helpful or are they harmful? Let's break this down. So an elimination diet is a diet where you start eliminating foods that are potential triggers. So let's say that you're somebody with chronic health problems. Maybe you're very tired, maybe you're in a lot of pain, whatever it is. An elimination diet is where you at home on your own would start restricting your food intake. Now this doesn't mean you're not eating, this isn't fasting, but for example, common triggers are things like gluten, dairy, sugar, nightshades, etc. So in an elimination diet, you eliminate all of those highly triggering food, peanuts, all those kind of things, and you eat a very bland, very basic diet. The reason for this is to see, number one, well, hey, if you eliminate all the potential triggering foods, do you feel better? Number one. Number two, you do this for a period of time. Depending on the one you're doing, it can be days to weeks, okay? You eliminate all those foods. You then observe yourself over those days. Do you feel better? Is your pain gone? Is your fatigue gone? Do you have more energy? If so, there's an indicator that you may have been reacting to one of those foods, and you do better eliminating them. So then after the duration where you are not eating the triggering foods, you one by one bring in the triggering foods. Okay, so let's say I've eliminated gluten, dairy, sugar, nightshades. After my duration being off of them, feeling okay, let's say, I decide, okay, I'm gonna have a little bit of gluten today. I eat some gluten and I do not feel good. I get a horrific headache. My body's telling me I may be having a reaction to gluten. Okay, I knock off the gluten. Next day, I have some dairy. I feel fine, nothing changes. I might be okay with dairy. And then so forth, you'd reintroduce the other foods. So that is essentially an elimination diet. I'm sure I'm not doing it full justice. There's different versions depending on your practitioner or who you're listening to, but that's kind of a crash course of what elimination diets are. Now here's the question, are they helpful or harmful? For some people, they're very helpful. You know, somebody that has like a severe gluten sensitivity, it's going to be very obvious, meaning when you stop eating it, you're gonna, within days, start feeling much better. And then if you have just a little bit, your body is gonna react and tell you, don't eat this. So from that standpoint, this is something people can do at home on their own to get an idea of where their health is at, to see, am I reacting to any foods? So those are some of the pros. A potential con, and one of the reasons why the elimination diet is often criticized, is because it has you eliminating foods. There's many sources and people out there that criticize the concept of limiting the foods we're eating and instead wants us to encourage us to eat more nutritious foods. And they're afraid that elimination diets just have us restricting our intake and potentially getting malnourished. Okay, there's other reasons as well. The other fear of elimination diet is, what do you do if you're reacting to everything? Like, I'm reacting to gluten, dairy, nightshade, sugar. I go off of them, I do okay, and I try to bring any of the other ones in and I start reacting. It's like, well, now I'm stuck eating a very bland, plain diet. So the people that criticize elimination diets point things out like that you have the potential to, okay, this didn't really fix anything. Like, now I'm stuck not being able to eat food. So that is a fair concern. Now, what is my opinion as a doctor, right, that works with health nutrition? Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of having patients just do elimination diets at home. Here's why. Now, if you are somewhere where you do not have a health practitioner nearby or nobody that can help you, it can be helpful, okay? And it can, and I know some people that do love it. From my perspective, there's a lot of guessing and there's a lot of moving parts. What I find with my patients is that often their health problems are caused by many different factors. Food sensitivities just being one of them. Sometimes people do elimination diets and they don't actually find out anything. For an example, I may have a patient that reacts to gluten. Now, you would think, oh, eliminating gluten, they should feel better. Well, they may not only be reacting to gluten, they may also be reacting to the shampoo that they're using every day. They may be reacting to the mold in their workspace, and they have all these things they're reacting to that are causing headaches. Well, by just doing an elimination diet at home without checking anything else, they eliminate the gluten, they're still going to work where the mold is, they're still using the same products that they're reacting to, they're not going to feel any better. And they're going to think that they're fine with gluten. And they'll basically say that the elimination diet didn't show anything. I know multiple people, actually quite a few people, that have done elimination diets and they haven't found anything because of that, but they're still not feeling any better. So for me, an elimination diet is not useless, it can be beneficial, but what I would prefer, instead of having a patient go through all of that just guessing and wondering, I'd rather have you come into clinic where we can test everything. Because almost always, if you have gut health problems, if you have brain fog, if you have headaches, any other issue, there's usually many puzzle pieces. And it's really hard to find all of your puzzle pieces on your own at home. Okay, do your research, that definitely helps, but it is much easier and the clinical results are often better if we actually have you in clinic. We can actually test the food. So instead of guessing, like, oh, let's have you, stop eating these 5 different foods. Instead, let me test you and be, oh, you only have to actually remove 1. That's a lot nicer than having to remove all 5, right? Depending on what you need. So we'll actually test you on the foods to see what your body is specifically showing for instead of guessing. We'll actually test you for the heavy metals and the toxins and things. I'll actually have you bring your products in, like your shampoos, your conditioners, water, whatever, and we'll actually test it on you. So I find that that is a more accurate test. We get better results over the long term, and it saves you a lot of time as a patient. So I'm not fully against the elimination diets, but they're not my first thing. They're not the big thing that I'm like, everybody needs to run and do an elimination diet. I actually encourage you, come to clinic. It's going to be better off for you in the long run. And, as far as the concern too, the concern people have with elimination diets is that, hey, I'm taking food out, I'm not eating enough nutrition, right? Or I'm getting it to the point where I'm not really healing, I'm just not eating all these foods. Often, if somebody is reacting to foods, like if somebody's reacting to many different foods, it's not actually the foods. It is actually their gut is inflamed, right? It could be bad bacteria in there. It could be an infection that was there, overuse of antibiotics for a previous infection. It could be stress, heavy metals, etc. So what we do, especially in clinic, it's more than just eliminating foods, it's also healing the gut. We need to temporarily eliminate foods. Like if gluten is just inflaming you, I want you to be off of it for a couple weeks. But in the meantime, we're healing your gut, and then we're hoping that we can reintroduce the food if we're able to. I hope that makes sense. If you have any other questions about elimination diets or food sensitivities, feel free to drop them below, and we're going to be doing some follow-up videos in a little bit. All right, thank you.